Good morning or afternoon, whenever you're taking this. So we're going to start sitting. I have with me a block and a strap, which we will potentially use later. So grab that stuff if you don't have it. You can use books or a couch pillow if you do not have a block. So let's start sitting, just however it's comfortable. Bring your shoulders up toward your ears. Inhale. And exhale your shoulders down the back. Try not to overarch through the back. So keep drawing your belly in. Feel that lift. We'll just place our fingers down. Lift one arm over. Inhale. And head over to a side bend for your exhale. We'll just stay here for a few breaths. We'll try to reach through the top arm and fingertips. We'll try to keep that top arm back. And that belly drawing in. On your next inhale, whatever that is, just come through center and head over to the other side. You can take an extra breath there just so you lengthen. And as you're reaching, try not to fall over to the side, so both sitting bones stay down. You can try changing the gaze a little bit, especially if you have any neck issues. Sometimes it's nice to bring the chin toward that bottom shoulder. Let's come through center, inhale, into tabletop. Hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips, fingers spread wide. Just inhale a little arch in the back. We don't have to go through full cat-cow. And exhale a little round. Just so that you see what your range might be. We're going to try to find our neutral in a moment. So you felt the ribs sag down when you arched and lift up when you rounded. So try to find what you consider neutral. Keep that and extend the right leg back behind you. Send the left arm out in front of you on the fingertips. And notice the tendency here already is to drop into an arch and have those lowest ribs pop forward toward the mat. So instead, belly in. And if you can, lift the leg and arm. And then lower down again. And just do that a few times. You can either lift so leg and arm are parallel to the floor, or you can lift them an inch. We just want to play with how is this working without arching the back. So we're going to keep this idea that a rope is tied around our waist, attached to a helium balloon. And let's switch sides. So first just come through that tabletop again. Maybe you need to play with where is your neutral, so you can arch it around a little bit to hone in on those differences, and then the neutral is neither. So when you're ready, extend left leg back, press through the heel, right arm forward. And already there's that tendency. So instead of right arm forward, you might want to put your hand on your belly and just give yourself the extra incentive to lift. When you can, left leg back and up. Right arm might be up, but we're reaching forward and back, not just up. So if you'd like, start to move the limbs toward the floor and away from the floor. And if you notice that while you're lifting the limbs, you're going into an arch, instead of using that right arm out in front of you, just keep it on your belly, just as that tactical reminder. Okay, let's meet in tabletop again. This time I'll extend the right leg back and lower to the heel. Come on the ball with that left foot and just reach the right arm up. So it's like a side plank with our left knee down. And reach that right arm over the ear. Stretch through the fingers. And maybe give yourself a little arch. A little side bend arch. Similar to when we were sitting on our butts. I'll just lower that hand down, Come through your tabletop over to the other side, so the ball of the right foot is down, the whole sole of the left foot is down, left arm up, as you would stack your arms in side plank and reach the left arm over the ear. Start to lift up through the left ribs. You'll feel that nice stretch. Okay, and left hand down. We'll come through tabletop. Just inhale to arch, and let's press to downward dog for the exhale. And either pedal out your feet or adjust your stance width, whatever you need to do, seeing as this is the first downward dog of the day. Okay, forward to plank on your inhale. Bend the elbows for your chaturanga. Your knees could be down if you need. Inhale to upward facing. Pull the chest forward. Exhale, downward facing. That inner thighs are going to press back. Belly's going to naturally draw in. You don't even really have to think about it here. But it's fun to think about it. Because then you start to realize how nicely the back is stretching and reacting. Let's rock forward to plank again for your inhale. Exhale for your chaturanga. Inhale for your upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. So we'll keep pressing the arms straight. That's going to help keep the belly in. So let's bend the right knee and let the left heel press to the floor. And bend the left knee and let the right heel press to the floor. It's fine if your heel doesn't actually get all the way down, but keep your right leg straight while you press. And let's just use that alternating bending to walk our feet forward toward the hands. And each time your foot places, press all the way through the heel, keep the arms straight. And let's inhale to fingertips and exhale to the palms. Inhale to fingertips and exhale to the palms. You might want to slide your hands back toward the feet when you do that. You might want to bend your knees. Inhale. Just depends on your hamstrings and your back. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. And exhale. Okay, let's inhale. And as we exhale, we're going to bend the knees, drop the head and arms, and just roll up. So your tailbone's going to angle toward the ground. And you'll just take it up as slowly as possible. The head comes up last. When you're there, inhale, reach up. And fold forward again. Exhale, swan dive. Or your arms can take any path. Inhale, halfway up. Step the left foot back to a lunge. Exhale. Straighten the right leg any amount. Inhale. Bend the right leg. Exhale. Place the palms flat. Right leg to the ceiling. Three-legged downward dog. Inhale. Step the right foot to the hands again. Exhale. We'll come to fingertips. Inhale to straighten the right leg. And exhale to bend. Palms flat. Three-legged downward dog. Inhale. Right foot to the hands. Exhale. Onto fingertips. Inhale. This will be the last time like this. Exhale. Bend the knee. Palms flat. Three-legged downward dog. Inhale. And just regular downward dog. Exhale. Rock forward to plank. Inhale. Bend the elbows. Exhale. Lift the chest. Upward facing dog. Inhale. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Bend into that right knee. Again, press your left heel down. Switch the legs. Press the right heel down. And start to use that to walk your feet forward toward your hands. Whenever you get there, inhale, halfway up. Hold, exhale, bend the knees. Start to roll up. Take your time. You might even want to bring your hands to the front body, just near the belly button, or just under, and use that to help you articulate through the mid-back. Okay, reach up, inhale. Fold forward, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. Right leg back, exhale. So we're just on the other side. Left leg straight, inhale. However straight you can get it. Exhale, bend. Palms flat. Left leg to the ceiling. Inhale. And step forward to the hands, exhale. Come on to fingertips again. Inhale, that just gives you a little more room to get your left leg straighter. Exhale, bend. Palms flat. Inhale, leg up as you push your chest back. Exhale, step forward. Inhale, straight left leg. Exhale, bend. Three-legged downward dog. Inhale into regular downward dog for your exhale. Rock forward into plank. Inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing. Inhale. Downward facing. Exhale. Let's lower to the knees again. Just like you did before, we're going to extend the right leg back and find that same little side planky thing that you did before. This time, just think a little bit more about your left thumb and pointer. We're just going to lift the right leg up and then gently place it down again. Just do that a few more times. The tendency here is to sort of fall backwards. But if we can keep the ball of the left foot on the floor and the left thumb and pointer working, we won't fall. Okay, so the next time that you have the leg lifted, we're going to keep it lifted and just find our tabletop shape again. We're going to kick back through that right heel and three-legged downward dog just by lifting the left knee and extending that left leg to straight. If we drop our head and we look at our right leg, we can see that our kneecap is facing the floor. Let's take 2 more breaths here. Let's step that right foot to the hands. I have an injury, so when I step forward, I'm doing this cheat where I come onto my fingertips. That gives me that extra room. But ideally, you keep your palms flat. Let's lift the arms, inhale. We're going to twist to the right to open up the arms and bend the back knee a few inches, exhale. High lunge, inhale, reach up, back leg straight. Exhale, twist. Maybe look at your right thumb. One more time, inhale, untwist. Exhale to twist. Inhale to that high lunge, and palms flat. And we'll step back, travel through vinyasa. Or if you're tired, just go straight to a downward dog shape or a child's pose shape. Okay, so we'll do it on the other side. Let's start in tabletop. Make sure that the arms are straight. Curl the toes of the right foot, extend the left leg back. Left arm up. And just for your sake of balance, and you'll be working that left glute, just start to lift and lower the leg. Go slow. And keep thinking of extending the leg back really far. So it's not just going up, it's going out. Okay, so we'll keep that left leg lifted. Lower the hand, square the hips. Use that inner left thigh to get the leg up. And press the three-legged downward dog. So that left heel is pressing back into the abyss. The right heel is pressing down toward the ground. Okay, step the left foot to the hands. High lunge for your inhale. Twist to the left for your exhale. Bending the back leg will help keep your pelvis more neutral and maybe happier. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist. Inhale, untwist. Exhale, twist. Let's stick in one more because it feels so good. Okay. Now we'll lower to the hands. We'll meet in downward dog. If you're going through the vinyasa, you'll step to plank for an inhale. You'll bend your elbows for an exhale. Upward facing for the inhale. And downward facing for the exhale. Okay, we'll come to tabletop again. Straight arms. We'll curl the toes again. Ball of the left foot will stay there glued to the mat. Let's just extend the right leg back. The left arm forward on the fingertips like you did much earlier. Belly in. And just lift the legs. Or leg and arm. I should say limbs. So we're just going to take them out to the side, maybe 45 degrees, maybe not that far. And then we'll pull it in again. Now let's just do this a few more times. See if you can do this without changing the pelvis or the shape of the back. So we want to stay neutral. It's hard. And if you go slow and with a very small range, you're going to find that strength is really nice. Okay, lower the hand, lower the knee. Inhale to arch. And just press the downward dog for your exhale. From there, right leg will lift up, and we'll keep that kneecap facing the floor so your hips are square for a moment. Heel pressing back on the lifted leg, pressing down on the bottom leg. Okay, so we're going to lift the right hip a few inches, and then swing the right leg out to the side. So our legs, which we can actually see with our eyeballs, are making an L shape. Now we're kicking that right heel out to the right. Swing the leg back again. And step the foot forward to the hands. High lunge. Inhale. Into warrior two. Exhale. We'll straighten the right leg for an inhale. And bend again, warrior two. Exhale. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Just one more time. Inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Hands to the floor. Plank for your inhale. Chaturanga for your exhale. Upward facing for your inhale. Downward facing for your exhale. And we'll come to hands and knees again. If you have any wrist issues, you could be up on fingertips. Or sometimes it's nice to fold the mat, have your wrists on the mat and your fingers knuckles off the mat. It just makes it less flexed. So when you're ready, belly in, left leg back, press the heel to the abyss behind you. Right arm will slide forward. Notice you're not arching here, so maintain that as you lift the limbs. We reach the right arm forward, we kick the left leg back, and we'll take them out to the side, maybe 45 degrees-ish, and we'll bring it in again. So just go at your pace. You're basically looking down, so there's nothing to see. But there is this tendency to wiggle quite a bit. And if you're finding that it's hard to maintain the anti-wiggle, the stability, just make your movement smaller. Take one more. We'll lower the right hand and we'll lift to our three-legged downward dog. So the chest is pressing back toward the right leg. The right heel presses to the floor, left heel presses back into the air. Lift the left hip a few inches so you can swing the leg out to the left. And we'll try to keep it at about hip height. Gravity is very strong, so we'll see how that goes. But we're thinking of the pinky edge of the foot lifting up. Okay, swing the leg back again. And step it forward to the hands. For your high lunge, inhale. And into your warrior two. That back foot swivels down. If you need to make any adjustments, do it so that you have that heel to arch alignment. The feet don't always land where you want. Inhale to straighten. Exhale, bend. Again, inhale, straighten. Exhale, bend. Inhale. And exhale. Hands to the floor. We'll step back, plank. Inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Shake out the head. So you can either do the walking forward that we did earlier to bring your feet toward your hands, or you can lift your heels for an inhale, bend the knees for your exhale, and jump forward. I'm going to choose walking because I don't want to tempt fate. I want to stay injury-free a little bit longer. Inhale and fold, exhale. Let's meet in Utkatasana. Bend into the knees, lift the arms up. So I'm noticing as I get older, the injuries don't go away as quickly. They stay and linger. I went to acupuncture yesterday. It was wonderful. And I'm going to eliminate sugar from my diet. Okay, hands to prayer. Let's just stand. Step the right foot back and pivot around for triangle pose. We'll reach out over the right leg, reaching toward the back of the mat. We'll lower the right hand down to the shin, the ankle, or the big toe. Left arm up. So when you have injuries, part of it is you might need to seek help, chiropractor, acupuncture, whatever. And part of it is taking responsibility for your own health. So we cannot blame our genetics. We cannot blame our mattress. Let's inhale to rise up and pivot around to the other side, triangle pose. Reach out for your inhale and lower the hand for your exhale. What happens when we blame others is that we feel like we can't change it. So if we can take responsibility for our own issues, we will make a step or two toward fixing whatever the issue is. One more breath here. Legs as straight as you can get them. Let's use an inhale to rise up. The belly draws in to help protect the back there. And let's just step to the top of the mat. Reach up, inhale. Hold, exhale. Halfway up, inhale. And just send the left foot back to your lunge. And while we're here in this lunge, I just want you to feel how this right heel is digging into the floor. We're going to use that heel quite a bit right now. We're going to launch the back leg up toward a standing split shape. Point the toes, try to touch the ceiling. Then we're going to return to our lunge, squaring the hips and just landing that left leg back. Let's do that two more. So that right heel is going to help by pushing down. And that right hamstring is going to help by pulling us forward and up. So this next time that you're there in your standing split, perhaps you want to reach your right hand to your left foot. Kick your knee up toward the ceiling. The more you kick with that leg, whether you're kicking into your hand or not, the more you lift that leg, the more you can bring your torso down toward your right shin. Okay, let go of the foot if you have it. We're going to step back about 3/4 of the way for twisted triangle. Heel to heel alignment. Left hand somewhere comfortable, maybe grab the block, right arm up. I'm going to use the block again because I did it the other day and it was so fun. Because then you're just higher away from the ground, that changes the twist quite a bit. Okay, let's slowly untwist. Bend into that friendly enough to place your palms down. And vinyasa. Step back, take your time. Okay, let's just step the left foot forward. So we're in that lunge, and we'll do our standing splits on the other side. So dig your left heel into the floor, propel yourself forward to get your right leg up, and then step back. So notice how the legs react to each other. It will help keep you balanced, stable. When your right leg is up again, either keep reaching your toes to the ceiling or bend your knee, left hand to your right foot or ankle, and you're lifting your right knee to the ceiling. Extend the top leg again if it's bent. Step to a 3/4 of the way lunge kind of shape for your twisted triangle. Right hand on either side of the foot on any size of block or a stack of books. Keep pressing into the ball of the foot, that front foot especially. Slowly untwist, make your way through your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward dog. Okay, right leg to the ceiling, inhale. Step forward, exhale. High lunge for your inhale. And warrior 2 for your exhale. We'll straighten that right leg, inhale. And as you bend the knee, put your right hand on the big toe side of your foot. Hello, hips. Again, inhale, rise up, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend the knee, right hand down. You can always put your hand on the block if the floor is too far away. Inhale. And last time, we'll stay there. And we'll either make a choice to get a block if we didn't have one, or we'll stay just like that, or we'll reach the left arm behind. Maybe we'll reach the right arm under. And we'll hold our wrist with the right hand. But keep digging your right heel into the ground, just like you did when we launched up to standing split. Okay, let's unravel whatever you have. Lower your left knee down. Anjaneasana. So for right now, the hands could be anywhere. They could be on your thigh, robot, anything, literally, because I just want us to think about this front leg. I'm going to put my hands here just so they're kind of out of the way for camera viewing. So we're going to unbend the front leg a little bit by pushing the ball of the foot. And then we're going to rebend the front leg by pressing the heel down and dragging our hip forward with that hamstring straight. So just go back and forth at your pace, however big you want to make it. I'm going very slowly because if I don't, I can't really engage the proper places. So we want to feel this a lot in the hamstring, especially as you're dragging. Imagine your heels coming back toward your butt, but you're on a sticky mat, so you can't actually move, but it's very active, dragging yourself into anjaneasana. Okay, let's get out of there. That was really hard. And I made us do it 5 times, which is really hard. So take your vinyasa, we'll meet in downward dog. And when you're ready, step your left foot between your hands. Rise up to your high lunge and open up to your warrior two. Make any adjustments with the feet, heel to arch alignment. Inhale, straighten the left leg. Exhale, bend, and big toe side. Inhale, straighten, push the ground away. Exhale, bend, pull yourself toward the ground. One more time. So make a choice. Hips are different, shoulders are different. You want to stay here? You want a half bind? You want a full bind? I'm going to stay in a half bind on this side, just so that I have the extra support of that bottom arm. Full Parsvakonasana, just so you know, this is Parsvakonasana with variation. The normal one for Ashtanga style is bottom hand, pinky toe side of the foot, right arm over the ear. So the things that I've offered you on this in this class are not normal anyway. Let's untwist, lower the back knee down. But it's nice to do different things sometimes. So let's find our anjaneasana and settle into it. Decide what you want to do with your arms. If you have back issues, one nice thing to do is put your thumbs on your tailbone and start to push it down a little bit, just so that you're not so arched in your low back. Let's bend that front knee as much as we can, and then unbend it some amount. And just go back and forth at your pace. I'm going to do the 5 because I did 5 on the other side. Keep that left heel digging into the floor. The ball of the foot's going to push you to a straighter leg, and that heel is going to signal to your hamstring to work to pull you to a more bent leg. One more time. It should be a little hard. If it was easy, we wouldn't bother. Let's place the hands, step back, vinyasa. Okay. Oh, I skipped. Twisted triangle, did we skip it? No, we did it on both sides. Okay. It's hard when there's no live person to phone me in, but we did it on both sides. Or did we? Pause the video if we didn't and do it. There we go. So let's measure out the elbows. Interlace the fingers. We're going to go for a headstand, and we're going to lift up through a split. So we'll place the head, we'll lift the knees, we'll push them to the edge of the hand. We're going to keep our right foot down as we lift the left leg up. And we'll come onto the tippy toes of the right foot until we feel like the left leg is high enough that our right foot can lift. And either stay there staring at your right foot, or let your right foot go up to meet your left foot. Take a breath. And we'll just come down with both legs. You can bend the knees in toward your chest, or you can keep your legs straight. And we'll take a few breaths in child's pose before we do the other side. Okay, let's rise up, measure it out so you know your elbows are not too wide. Then interlace your fingers, place your head. I like to have a straight line from knuckles to elbows. And when the head is placed, I feel the wrists pressing. So this time the left leg will stay down, the right leg will lift up. We're going to keep the right leg straight, and we're going to think of touching the ceiling with the toes until we feel like the left leg gets light enough that it can rise. As long as you can see your left foot, you will not fall into a back bend. You would just wind up with your feet on the ground like a dolphin shape. Maybe start bringing your legs to vertical. And then, yes, you could fall into a back bend. So maybe you have the wall there. And let's start to come on down. We'll meet in child's pose. Feel free to pause the video and do that a bunch more times. It's a really fun exercise to help teach us how to work that top leg. And when you're ready, downward dog. Okay, right leg pigeon. Left leg is going to slide back a few inches as we settle into this pigeon. Let's bring the fingers out to the side so that we can stay somewhat lifted through the chest. Relax the neck. Okay. Left forearm is going to come in front, parallel to the front edge of the mat. The right hand will either go to your right thigh and help you twist by pushing down into your thigh, or it will reach back for the inside of your back foot. And then you would kick your back leg back, and that will create the same twist. So whether my hand is here or on the foot, the twist could be the same. You just decide how much can your hip handle, what about balance, etc. Okay, slowly unwind. Find your three-legged downward dog. So hands down, right leg up to the ceiling, and front leg just lifts. We press our chest back. Step the foot forward to the hands. Change places with your hand and foot. So now your hand is on the inside, your foot is outside. Lower the left knee. Open up the right knee. And maybe come to your elbows. It's very similar to your pigeon, just a little bit more pinpointed perhaps. You have to work that ankle so that there's no weird ankle bend. So even though your knee is dropping open, think of the ball of the foot pressing toward the floor. If your hip is flexible and your knee is very far away, the ball of the foot will lift, but you still want to think down. Let's add a twist again. So you could be on the left elbow or palm. You're going to reach back, this time for the pinky toe side of the foot, and you'll kick. You're pulling this right shoulder back with the power of your back leg. Okay, slowly unravel. We'll just lift ourselves to anjaneasana, nice and normal, right foot in front of the right hip, so the hands are now framing that right foot. Bring the hands up to that right knee. Now we'll take the left hand back for that inside of the foot. And if you can, pull the foot in closer to you. And if you can, flip your hand so that your knuckles are on your foot and your palm faces away. Elbow will then be up. And if you can, take it to Bakasana grip where your fingers curl over your toes. Square your ribs to the front. And let that go. Vinyasa. Left leg in front for pigeon. Bring our hands out to the side to help us with the balance, to help us with the support of sitting up. I like to glance at that back leg, make sure that the foot is behind the hip, because sometimes you look back and your foot is like almost off the mat. Does some crazy things when we're not looking. So we'll bring our right forearm in front. We'll either place the left hand on the thigh and twist from there, or we'll bring the left hand back for the big toe side of the foot. Wow, I can tell this is my tight side. The more you kick, the more you're going to feel some freedom in that left shoulder. Okay, slowly unravel and find your three-legged downward dog. That left leg will just travel back and up. Step the left foot forward to the hands. Trade places with your hand and foot. Bring the right knee down. We'll turn the left toes out about 45 degrees. Left knee drops away from the torso. Elbows potentially come down. And if your elbows are coming down, you don't keep your hands where they are and back up to bring the elbows down. You walk your hands forward and put your elbows where your hands used to be. So we either stay here, there's plenty going on here, or you're going to bend your back knee and find the pinky toe side of your foot and kick. Okay, slowly unravel. We'll turn this into anjaneasana. So the left foot's going to move more centered so that it's just in front of the left hip. And this is that same thing you did earlier where you were backing up and then dragging yourself into it again. So you're going to drag yourself into it as far as you can, then right hand back. And if you're holding the big toe side of your foot, you're going to feel already a nice stretch through the pecs and shoulder. When you're ready, point your right elbow up, your palm will face away. That's one stage of a prep for Bakasana grip. If you want true Bakasana grip, your pointer finger can go between big toe, second toe, as your palm goes over the top of the foot. And that pointer finger is just a nice placeholder so that you're not breaking your toes off, so that your hand is far enough on the foot and not just on the edge of the toe pressing down. Okay, wow, that's very tight in my thigh. Okay, let that go. Vinyasa. So we're doing all this because I got a request for splits. Splits are comprised of hamstring work and hip flexor work. Let's step the right foot forward. We'll come into anjaneasana like you've done already many times. I want you to feel that dragging sensation that you've already done. Then we're going to add a little catch, making it harder. We're going to creep our back knee, left knee, about 12 more inches back. So now we're in a longer anjaneasana. Then lift your hands again. If you want, do like a robot arm. That could be fun. But also there's a lot happening. So maybe you're like this. Maybe you keep your fingers down. Dig that heel into the floor and drag your front knee to bend as much as you can. If you're in robot arms, you might even want to lower your fingertips just down under your hips. That is kind of a nice chest opener. Okay. So to get out of here, we're just going to creep our back knee forward and we'll change sides. You could step to downward dog to change sides, or you can step to a forward bend, however. So we're in anjaneasana, left leg in front. First, just dealing with the strength required to bend the front knee. Because splits are not just a flexible thing. You have to be very strong in the split. Let's creep our right leg back more. But we're still able to keep the sole of the left foot on the floor. So we're not just willy-nilly going into this really long shape. Our anchor is still there. The ball of the foot is down, the heel is down, and we're dragging our left hip toward that left heel. So whatever arms you want. I'm in robot. I'm going to roll the shoulders up and then back. So it feels like my elbows are poking to the wall behind me. The chest is already lifted, and then the fingers can just come down under the hips. You should feel this quite a bit in your hip flexor stretching and your front hamstring working. Let's bring that fingers down, the back knee in, so that you can step back, vinyasa. So notice that wasn't actually full split, but it was really hard. I want us to get out of the mindset that a split is about just flexibility. Okay. Let's bring the right foot forward, pigeon. I'm going to look at my clock real quick. Okay. So for this pigeon, let's bring our right heel pretty close to the left hip. So we have a very bent front knee. You grab hold of your strap. You could use a dog leash or dish towel, doesn't matter. You're just gonna put it on your back foot. You're gonna bring your right hand to your right thigh. Your left elbow is gonna stay close to the body. It's gonna be near the ribs, then forward so you can see it, and then up. If you don't need your right hand on your thigh as support, bring the right hand back as well. And just take this somewhat easy. Hug the elbows in toward each other a little bit more. And just enjoy squaring the hips so that you get a nice stretch through the left hip flexor. Okay, slowly let that go. Step to your downward dog. And left leg will come forward for the other side. So earlier when we had a pigeon, this foot was probably further away from your right hip. But for right now, just bring it close. That will help make everything easier, and then you can start to work your balance more. The balance is tricky in this because you don't want to fall over to your left butt cheek. Then you're kind of out on the diagonal. So we'll bend that back leg. We'll loop our strap, or however. I don't ever get a real loop. I just kind of slap it on there. And we want to make sure that our hip on this right leg is still facing front. If you're having trouble getting this elbow situation, usually it's because people bring the elbow out to the side and your shoulder's going to feel real weird to do that. So just keep it in close to your body. Maybe make your strap longer. See if you can scissor the legs toward each other in such a way that you feel your pelvis rise a half inch away from the ground. You're actually lifting up a little bit off the ground. Okay, slowly let that go. And we'll move through vinyasa. We'll meet up in the downward dog. Earlier we did that headstand where you lifted one leg and you let the other one float up when the top one was as high as it's going to get. Feel free to do that again, or you'll just do the same concept but from pincha mayurasana. So that would just be forearms down, same measuring of your elbows, palms flat. This time your head will be off the ground, but otherwise it's very similar work. We'll let one leg lift up. Our flexibility might not be such that we can just press. So there's like a little hop, but very little, as little as possible. And we'll meet again in child's pose before we do the other side. And if you are tempted by pincha, but you're scared of it, just move yourself toward the wall. But be like 2 feet away from the wall because you'll need room for that top leg to kind of go over. Let's try the other side. For some of you, it will be the tight side, so you'll need a little more of a top. So the top leg is reaching, the bottom leg is pushing. And they have to communicate with each other, so then neither one overdoes it or underdoes it. We'll meet in child's pose. When you're ready, downward dog. We'll meet in prasarita. So either foot is going to step forward and you'll do a quarter turn to the side so that your 10 toes face the long edge of the mat. Let's just reach forward like it's downward dog, but with our legs really wide. Drop the chest a little bit. And come onto the fingertips so that you feel a little more through the armpits. Now draw your belly in so you're not overarching the back. Okay, walk the hands back, turn the heels in a few inches so you have just like a turned out foot, like a ballet foot. We'll bring the knees, the elbows to the knees, hands to the ankles. If this is too much, and your hips are not happy, put your hands on your knees. Then you'll be higher up. It's a little easier. Okay, let's turn to face the right leg. Whichever way it is fine. There's not really anything to see. So if you're facing the back of your mat, you can't see your screen, no problem. We're just going to creep that left leg back so we wind up in that long anjaneasana like we did before. Hands to that front thigh. And just test the strength of your legs to keep you square. Lower the fingers down again and slide out to what you consider Hanumanasana for you. The sole of the foot of that front leg is going to then face front. If you're not getting your pelvis down, which is very common because that is very hard, just grab your block or your couch pillow or a towel or anything and put it under your thigh so that you're higher up. Now work on squaring yourself. And just put the hands on your hips. Maybe the thumb can go by the tailbone, pressing down, and squeeze the elbows back. And with something under your thigh, chances are it's pretty comfy. But remember all that work we did before to dig that front heel into the floor and bend the knee a little bit? Still do that. Okay, let's slowly get out of there, and we'll just go over to the other side. So with the hands, you'll prop yourself up, pivot on the feet, go to your long anjaneasana. First, in a way that the left sole of foot is on the floor, hands to the thigh or the hips, and just test your balance. Start to creep your feet further apart, make a decision about your prop. And notice, if you get too ego-driven here, you're going to start to be here. You see this all the time on Instagram. This back knee is facing out to the side, the hips are facing out. There's nothing happening here. No lovely hip flexor stretch. I'm not solid in the strength. So prop yourself up as high as you need to be. Maybe hands to the hips, squeeze the elbows back. Okay. Now we'll return to our anjaneasana shape so that we can quarter turn to the side for prasarita padottanasana D. So hold the 10 toes, face the long edge of the mat. Hold on to your big toes, first two fingers and thumb, inhale, and exhale to fold. We try to get the head down to the floor. Sometimes folks are scared of leaning too far forward, so they have all their weight in their heels. Try to distribute your weight evenly on your feet. Keep the legs straight. And over time, you'll get your head to the floor. Okay, let's straighten out the arms. Let's bring ourselves again to anjaneasana facing the right leg. Okay, these hourglasses kill me, man. We gotta wrap up soon. So we're gonna use our strap and our block. And this is, of course, optional everything. So you can either be in your anjaneasana with your strap on your back foot here, like we did in pigeon, or you can be in your anjaneasana, your split. So prop up as high as you need. Get the strength, because once your back foot is off the ground, you have to scissor your legs like crazy so that you don't fall. So you'll loop your strap, square up, and then it's the same as what you did in pigeon. The elbow will just kind of track in and forward. And I have my block under my thigh, so it's just helping in terms of hamstring flexibility. But I still have to work the legs like crazy, or I will just fall off this block. Elbows are in, belly is in, breathing is calm. Okay, slowly get out of there. Take your time finding the other side. The hands help us as we find the other side. And the block might have to be a different height, for higher or for lower. We never really know until we go into it. Every day is different. You might even just stay there and not deal with this back leg. Sometimes I find that if I add an element that is uncomfortable, such as this back leg, the rest of my pose starts behaving a little better because it knows that in order for this difficult aspect to work, the fundamental aspects have to be solid. So that front leg is no longer messing around. That heel is digging into the floor, tractioning back, helping keep the hips square. Okay, let's slowly get out of there. Take your time coming to samkanasana. So we'll face the long edge of the mat, and we'll have our kneecaps facing up. So many props now, I'm going to move them. Okay. So notice that my feet are on the mat, but my butt is off the mat. That's just because I'm not flexible enough to be in a straight line. Samkanasana really is a straight line. But most of us, many of us are going to look like this, or maybe even a little bit more of a V, whatever it is. This is not a pose that you can rush. Okay, soles of the feet together. Baddha Konasana, shins in a straight line, inhale. And fold forward, exhale. You can drop your chest toward your feet, your head toward the mat out in front of your feet. Okay, let's rise up. I'm gonna bring myself back onto the mat. We're gonna bring our left leg to virasana. So we're gonna fold it behind us, and our right leg to half lotus. And the core element is that our thighs are making a V shape. So if virasana and half lotus is not good for you, just have your legs doing something else. So long as your thighs are like this, knees mat's width, left hand is gonna go under the righty, right hand behind the back. This is Bharadvajasana. We're going to lean our left shoulder over that left wrist a little bit, but then we're going to curl that right shoulder back. There's a lot happening in this pose. Both sitting bones are down. Okay, slowly unravel and just find the other side. So it might feel like you did not a lot of back bends today, but you actually did a few. They just weren't the normal ones you think of from your back. But anytime you're stretching your thighs, you're in a back bend. Let's find Bharadvajasana. Side two, you could wrap your back arm first, or your hand can go under first. Okay, let's slowly get out of there. Keep checking in with my stove, which is my clock. Okay. Undo your legs. We're going to extend the legs out in front. Inhale to reach up, take out any bun or ponytail that you have, and exhale to roll down to your back. You can let your knees bend if they want to. Inhale, reach overhead. And then we'll roll up, tuck the chin. I like to think of a little rope pulling me. Inhale. And roll down. Exhale. This time we'll let the legs go up, so we're in an L shape. And we'll make a choice. Do we want to stay there, or do we want to take it to halasana, shoulder stand, which you can use your hands on your butt to sort of prop you up. You can keep your knees close to your chest if you want. Eventually, you're going to bring your legs overhead so that your toes touch down on the ground. We'll keep the left toes on the ground. We'll lift the right leg up to the ceiling. And you're just going to reach through the toes and rotate that right leg so that the kneecap is actually facing the back of your mat. If you leave the leg unattended, doing its own thing, that kneecap will face out to the side a little bit. This is the same as in our pigeons and our anjaneas. We just need to monitor the squaring of the hip, the rolling of the thigh. Let's lower that top leg and lift the other leg. Rotate through the hip, and you'll see it reflected through the entire leg. We're going to keep pressing the back of the head gently into the mat so that you don't feel like your chin is smushing into your chest. And you're just staring at your top foot, so you shouldn't be looking at your screen. There's nothing to see. If at any point in the shoulder stand you do, either in my class or anyone else's, you do need to look at your screen, just come out of your inversion, see what's going on, and then go back into it. Let's lower the top leg to meet the bottom leg. Inhale. Place the palms on the mat, bend the knees, and you start to roll down to your back. Take your time. Whenever you do happen to get down there, we're just going to do a happy baby. In happy baby, often we hold the outer edges of the feet. You could also hold inside of the heel. Okay, and let that go. If there's anything else you need before Shavasana, just either pause the video and do it, or just do it and ignore us. Shavasana will be probably about 3 minutes, but you can also just stop the video and make it 20 minutes. I like to go soles of the feet to the edge of the mat, knees drop in. If you're near your couch, you can put your legs on your couch, then you look like this. Or you can just extend the legs. Everything relaxed. Just bend the elbows so that you can put one hand on the chest, one hand on the belly. Just notice what your breath is doing. Notice how that baseline is to be with no breath in the body. You inhale, you exhale, and basically you hold that breath out without even thinking about it, just because it's comfortable. It's when you're at your most relaxed. And the baseline is to be relaxed. So if you have any stress in your life, think about how you can fix that, how you can remove that so that your baseline is very healthy. Start to roll to the right side. Keep the eyes closed, and we'll meet in a sitting position. Hands to prayer. Inhale. Exhale through the mouth. Inhale. Thumbs between the eyebrows. Signal that intuition. And fold forward. Exhale. Namaste. Thanks, y'all. Message me, text me, comments, requests, questions, etc. Take care.